Hello everyone and welcome. It's the SimRacing Asia Formula Series 2019 Season 2 7th meeting, and we are live from, well, I'm a bit, biased, but beautiful Monza for this traditional two-race event, 20-minute race 1, 25 minutes race 2, rolling start in both races, and the top 8 of race 1 will be inverted for the starting grid of race 2. Marco Barbanera, Scott Newton behind the cameras, and of course, leading the way with commentary today, the one and only Daniel Litt. Hello, Daniel.
Yeah, good evening, Marco, and to all the viewers tuning in tonight. Yeah, certainly a very exciting race tonight with the Formula 3s and the Lotus 79 here tonight at Monza. We do get the fortunate to see one 79 out there in the hands of Wayne Taylor tonight, so certainly looking to see how he can go in the field of Formula 3s.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be interesting, of course, as per usual, to see how the drafting will work with these cars and see if Wayne Taylor certainly having a good result and looking to scrap with these F3s starting from third place in race 1. And so here we go with the starting grid, and Muhammad Ibrahim is in first, Muhammad Alif in second, Wayne Taylor in third, then Niranjan Kumar, Jason Jolly, Tech Matt Morris, Roy Koistra, Mark Winter, Kevin Wang, Mark Lang, Mini Park, Kim Joo-min, Im Joke, Joel Estornino, and Andrea Ambadar. These final 4 drivers did not set a qualifying time, as we are looking high above the Monza racetrack. The cars lining up onto the Serraglio that brings us to the Ascari chicane, and from then they will take it to the backstretch and the Parabolica, and then it will be time to go racing, as we also are catching a glimpse of the old racetrack that is no longer in use. And here we go, the cars are finally rolling.
Yeah, and a great field of cars tonight. 16 drivers in total taking the starting grid tonight, and as you say, Wayne Taylor out in the 79, so we'll keep a weather eye on him tonight, see how he goes in the F3s. But certainly the track itself with Monza, a few good really passing chicane or passing opportunities that the guys will have. Obviously turn 1s and 2s into the chicane there, turn 4 and 5, and then through the Lesmos down towards the back straight. So they're certainly going to be in for some really good passing opportunities. As you mentioned earlier, the guys will really want to get full advantage of this draft and see what they can do with the 2 splits tonight.
One more corner to go. Parabolica with the Porsche safety car. The lights are out. We see a fantastic Repsol livery on that 79. Mark Lang, which usually ran the 79, is back in the F3 for this round as well. So, he might switch back to the 79 next time around, as the pace car about to take the hard right, a very wide front stretch, and here we go. And look at the 79 of Taylor, how much it really jumped out of the gates, already up into second place and looking to fight for first place, but Muhammad Ibrahim seems like he has a decent run coming out of the first chicane.
Yeah, definitely great jump from Ibrahim's through down the front straight there. Taylor a little bit off the mark in the 79, maybe a little bit struggling under brakes to turn 1, but going for the move up into turn 3 here at the moment. That 79 really got it working quite well for him, and great to see the older car really being able to take it to the newer generation Formula 3. We got a spin in the background.
Yeah, it's Kim. Take Kim is around, the driver from Canada. He's losing several positions, and of course, always not ideal to have an issue this early in the race. He will try to put it back into the into the right direction and try to get back, as Wayne Taylor is very good when it comes to the braking areas. Now on the straight, on the backstretch here on the Serraglio, Muhammad has closed the gap on him and seems to have a better run through the Ascari.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll see here the legs of the 79 down the back straight, getting able to get up on there, but he does struggle a little bit through initial corner phase with having to use the clutch to get down the gearbox. Down the inside there with Taylor, nice move through the parabolic. It gets that position, and actually Taylor will drop a couple of spots here with Kamar trying to go around the inside.
Yeah, we are seeing really two cars that have very different philosophies in the way they work, and of course almost 30 years, I think, in between them. 3 wide into the first chicane.
Yeah, great awareness from all drivers there, giving plenty of room. Kumar trying to get down the inside. I think he's just about going to get that move done, and does find himself now sitting in third. Taylor, very racy, currently in fourth, but trying to make something happen in that 7.
There we go once again at the Variante della Roggia. On the outside is the 79. The two F3s of Muhammad and Kumar are... So I have to apologize. It was not Tae Kim that was involved in that mess at the start. It was, to be precise, Kim Joo-min as Tae Kim with a nice move at Lesmo 2. And goes past the Lotus 79 of Taylor, struggling a bit to keep up the pace with these smaller F3s. I have to say that for those that might see, it's a surprising combo, this one, Daniel, but these cars race very, very well together.
Yeah, absolutely. The 79 certainly got a lot of straight line potential.
And there's a big wreck. Yeah, Eracing Jolly eating the rear of Kim. Kim had a little bit of a moment midway through the Ascari, and that is a very, very slippery part of the track with any car. Kim had a little bit of a moment, and his opponent couldn't do anything. I think there was no time to react, and Kim is about to peel into the pits as we see a replay of what just happened.
Yeah, definitely. Kim had a lot of move down the inside there with Taylor in the 3. Guys get a little bit of contact, and then off in the end there with Yali.
Maybe even a little bit of contact with Taylor, but that we see now Morris blocking very, very aggressively in his livery, and now using a little bit of extra turf there, which I think will cause him to have a slowdown. Sitting in P9, he was defending from the former 79-man Mark Langen, series overlord.
Yeah, a little bit lower down for Matt Morris tonight. Obviously, we did see, last time out, I know with commentary, we did see some issues for Matt at Coda, so he's still getting back up to speed with the car. Certainly different driving philosophy to what he's used to with the GT and the V8, so still working to get his head around it, but he's certainly in for a good race tonight here with Mark Lang, and I think it's just Min Park, just in front of him there. So the guys pretty close together, and the lap times for both cars last time by very, very close. Mustn't count out Muhammad Ibrahim up the front, really starting to streak away from this field. He's opened up a good 2.8 second gap over second place as well, so he's really on a move at the moment.
As we are running on board with Mark himself, as he's going through Ascari in front of them. We have Morris Park trying to close the gap on Wang as they head into the Parabolica, 255.67 at the top speed kph there for Mark as they head into the Parabolica. A little bit asymmetric this corner. Good launch from Mark, and now side by side onto the front stretch. Let's see who has the best run into the first chicane.
Yeah, Mark definitely got the preferred line being down the inside. He's gonna squeeze Morris
the grass!
Down
in the wall.
Yeah, Morris unfortunate there, catching a little bit of the grass and putting himself off into the wall. That will certainly not help his night tonight, and he will gonna need to bring that car into pit lane for a repair as soon as.
He was a bit lucky as Park Min from Eracing Korea jumps very nicely there, Kevin Wang, as they were fighting it out at Curva Grande, aka Curva Biassono. Call it the way you want. Both names are right. In the end, I think that it was you know, Morris certainly unlucky there. Certainly not ideal, but he managed to slow the car down quite a lot. It could have been, you know, a Marcus Ericsson style crash there. Very similar to what happened a couple of years ago in F1. But he very, very gently tapped the wall. But yes, these are going to be, and on a personal note, those kind of crashes there, clipping the grass in the first chicane, have been a major part of my martial training, because it's a place where it's always tricky to go and make, try to make and recover the cars. But back to the racing with Parkman flying past the pit lane, and right now looking at 7th place, as in front of him he is trying to catch to Rukoistra and Winter there. As Taylor is now dropped a bit back from the podium positions, around 4 seconds, but is looking to hold on to a nice 4th spot and maybe defend from Winter and Koistra. Certainly a good performance for the Lotus 79 driver. Now, I missed last round. Daniel, was he racing in the... Oh, you were not there as well, so we might have to ask Scott behind the scenes if Taylor was racing as well in the previous round with this car.
Yeah, definitely not one that we've normally seen out in the series from recent memory anyway, especially in the 79. Traditionally, as you said earlier on, Mark Lane normally driving that car, this series organizer. We've got a car going very wide there through the Ascari, and Taylor
it's him.
into the wall.
Oh man. And he towed back to the pits immediately, so certainly not what he wanted, and that's too bad because he was having a fantastic run in P4, basically after also challenging for the lead in the opening laps. Taylor will have to go back to the pits and, hope that the towing time is not too much. At the same time, Koistra and Winter on the front stretch side by side, the orange and white car on the left, the Red Bull car on the, well, now on the left, on the inside, having the preferred line, but a better braking from Koistra. And that's a very nice move done for 4th place. But will it be enough as they go into Curva Grande? Side by side once again, so easy to lose track of your opponent and make some contact here in the Curva Grande. Now once again another very tough braking for the Variante della Roggia. And seems like, Winter gets the position back. So nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Both guys very, very consistent here tonight, and taking ideal lines, into both sets of chicanes and being able to reverse those positions. So great job from Winters there to get back up. Finds himself now back up in 4th position, but Carissa not going to want to let this one go. He'll tuck into the draft nicely, and he's going to have a great run here up in through the Variante Ascara.
Once again on the inside, bit deep on the brakes, but no, perfect move from Koistra. Now he needs to be clean coming out of the Ascari and back to defending on the, so this guy has lost position 3 times already this lap. And now look at the dancing on the backstretch, trying to break the draft as they head into the Parabolica. Winter taking a alternative route, and for the time being this means that Koistra will have 4th position locked, at least, for the time being, because Winter now will have to work to get back to his rival.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it'll take too much for him. There is a nice little battle going on a little bit further down the order, 10th, 11th and 12th, with Yali, Kim and Morris as well. So those guys are swapping positions a little bit further down the order, and great to see these 3 going at it. Obviously, Yali having that issue earlier on where he found himself off, getting a little bit clipped and into the grass, but coming back strong and having a really good fight here. He's alongside, who is that? Kim at the moment, and doing a great job.
Yeah, Kim also involved in a mess at the start, the Variante della Roggia, side by side into the first chicane. Oh, Jolly almost has to stop to avoid contact. Behind them, is Morris as well, another driver. This is basically the train of the drivers that were involved in some shenanigans, and behind them, one lap down, is Taylor. So Taylor looking, I think, quite possibly at the 13th place start, because it will be very, very tough for him to make up any spots with only 8 minutes and change left in this race, as now Jolly will try and get back at the driver in front of him, Kim, and of course trying also to pull away from Morris, who is now in the clutches of Taylor, which, you know, if you are faster, you have all the rights to make the overtake, even if you are a lap down, because you never know what might happen. So here we go, side by side, nicely done by both of them, and now maybe you know, Morris will be able to enjoy a little bit of draft from Islos in front of them. Jolly and Kim side by side into the backstage.
Yeah, these two very, very close together and have been for the whole of this lap here. Kim getting in front at the moment. Jolly still going very, very defensive, and these guys are going to fight this all the way through the parabolic and set themselves up for a fantastic run down through the turn 1 chicane as well. But going to be interesting to see whether Kim's going to need to go defensive here. We're on the gearbox looking back at Kim, and Kim not really able to make a dent in the draft at the moment, it appears.
No, very, very surprising as they head into the braking area of the first chicane. According effect in, as per usual, the drivers compressing their gaps as they brake hard for these chicanes, and then extending again once they come out of said chicanes. At the same time, Park is having an issue and dropping positions quickly. I think he must have had a mistake at the Variante della Roggia. Lost 2 places. Let's see what happened on the replay as he was braking. Lost the car on entry and then bounced on the curbs and the speed bumps, and he was lucky not to beach himself, and also a little bit of a tap with the barriers there on the left side. That's the 2 positions gone for him, and you know, of course, happy with this. Kevin Wang and Mark Lang, that they both went up 1 position.
Yeah, very lucky there not to do any serious damage to the car. He got away with that quite fortunately there. But yeah, as you say, Kim and Lang getting on with it. Lucky beneficiaries there, up a couple of positions, and both of those drivers now find themselves in 6th and 7th respectively, and doing a very good job for Eurasia SimSports.
So another lap is in the books. Lap 9 is starting right now for these drivers, so we have 5 minutes and a bit of change left in this first race. And this is, of course, also a fight for the, well, effectively the... Oh, Kevin Wang is around, and yeah, he will get the front row spot now, together with Park, who's sitting in 8th, even though Wang is having some bigger issues. And Park goes past him, and Kim goes past. Everyone is going past him, so some issues there for Kevin. Maybe he didn't have the traction to get back, you know, in the right way on the racing surface, and now he has dropped all the way down to P10. So from a possible front row start, he's looking at a 10th place start for race 2. Very, very unlucky there.
Absolutely, very uncharacteristic for Kevin. Traditionally, we've seen him in the GTs being very, very strong, and certainly being a front row contender. So quite unfortunate to see him there. We've got Min Park up on screen at the moment, recovering his run. Currently finds himself sitting in 7th outright, and you know, we saw that spin earlier that he had. Doesn't look to have taken any major damage on the front of that car, so he should be looking quite good. Last time by, obviously with that spin, a little bit slower, did a 154.05 comparative to the guys around him in a 145, so quite a long way back, but as you say, will find himself in a pretty good starting position come race 2. We should quickly duck up to our race leader, who has extended his lead 4 seconds at the moment. Muhammad Ibrahim doing a phenomenal job out front and really uncontested at the moment. 2nd place, Muhammad Alif, and Nurjan Kumar as well sitting in 3rd, but the first 3 cars find themselves quite spread out at the moment, close to nearly 10 seconds covering all 3.
Yes, absolutely. As Jolly is looking, I think, to make a move on Kim for 8th place. And of course, the all-important race to pole position. And Jolly is certainly a driver that, if he can get to the pole position, he might have a very, very good chance for the race win in the second race. And now he's got 2 or 3 laps more left to try to get this position very deep on the brakes, as Kim is a little bit all over the place there at the chicane. He's able to keep his 8th spot as they head into l'Esmo 1, riding the extra runoff there. Jolly clipping the grass a bit, going a little bit sideways, back onto the Serraglio, with now Kim looking to pull away, trying to have a decent gap as they head into the Variante Ascari. Here they are. Very slippery part of the track, this one. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because of the quick change of direction that you have. Jolly seems to have a good run here. I mean, with every car you run there, you always seem to have, a little bit of a problem keeping the car straight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's probably a little bit more exaggerated with the fact the guys are running very low wing, but going wide. Kim with a spin through the Parabolica, that will promote Jolly up into 8th, and he gets himself a nice little cushion here. Kim potentially going to come under fire as well. We've got Taylor going through 1 lap down in the 79, and the power of that Lotus really evident there down the front straight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but now Kim being shown in 8th, as Taylor goes wide, because Niranjan Kumar has crashed out of the race from 3rd spot. That's why everyone got promoted up 1 place. Big surprise at the end of the race, coming out of the Variante della Roggia and hitting the wall there, and I think damaging his left rear suspension. Look at the car crabbing. What a surprise, Daniel. And Niranjan will be furious with himself, because he had, like you said earlier, a very, very nice cushion over 4th place.
Yeah, absolutely. Very uncharacteristic of Niranjan in this series. We know from past seasons, especially with those GT cars, very, very consistent driver and knows how to certainly get the most, but he'll be very disappointed with himself as a result of that. But he will turn himself onto race 2 now and start resetting. The guys, looking at where they are on track now, should be going through for their final lap now. Ibrahim's coming down towards the... Where are we? Down towards the Lesmos at the moment. So got a long way clear. The gap still extending furthermore. 5 seconds to Muhammad Alif, and Koroistra extended well out over 26 seconds. So Ibrahim doing a phenomenal job out front tonight again.
Yes, and he is looking good for the race win. This will be the last lap, of course, as the cars are heading for the final time in this first race into the Variante Ascari. Of course, as per usual, there will be no break in between the 2 races. Straight away, as soon as the last car crosses the start-finish line, we will switch to the gridding procedure for the second race. The drivers will have just a little bit of, like, 1 minute to maybe do some adjustments for race 2. But time for celebration for Muhammad Ibrahim as he rounds up the final corner and brings home victory in race 1. Very, very well deserved. Muhammad Alif in second and Rukoistra defending from Winter. This is the fight for the final podium spot. These 2 guys have been gifted this battle by the mistake from Niranjan Kumar. Side by side, looking to go there was Winter. Koistra is a bit wide. They're going to be side by side as they head out of the Parabolica. The start-finish line is very, very close. Who's going to get it is going to be Winter by just the smallest of margins. Winter gets the final podium spot. Koistra will have to settle for 4th. Here comes Jolly. He's sitting behind Mark Lang. His comeback will be stopped at 6th place, which is still a very, very good comeback considered his big issues earlier. Nice result for Lang, bringing on the top 5. Here comes Jolly. Then we should have Kim, and starting in the reverse pole will be the Eurasia Sim Sport driver Kevin Huang. So after an up and down race, he will enjoy the spotlight of the first position in race 2 as well, as we are waiting for the 2 drivers still running around Park. And rounding up the proceedings will be Matt Morris, as everyone is home safe and sound, and we are ready to give you straight away the results and the starting grid for the second race. 5 minutes more, 25 minutes will be this feature race. And starting in pole position will be Kevin Wang. Kim will start in second in front of Jolly and Lang. Rukoistra in 5th, Mark Winter in 6th, Muhammad Alif in 7th, and Muhammad Ibrahim will start in 8th. And you reverse this top 8 and you get the final results for race 1. Of course, we also have to add the other drivers that will start where they finished. Min Park in P9, Matt Morris in 10th, Niranjan Kumar will start in 11th place. Wayne Taylor will have a long way to come in P12. Then the drivers who did not finish the race, Kim Joo-min and Im Jo-hook, and did not start race 1, Joel Estornino and Andri Ambadar. So if they want to come back, if they have issues with their connection, etc., they are able to come back. They will be able to take part in race 2. So, as we thank Scott for telling us behind the scenes that this is, in fact, the first round of Wayne Taylor's SRA Formula Series career, as he was not there at Bathurst. Daniel, 5 more minutes, so not a big change, but with the very, very small breathing time between race 1 and race 2, basically it's like this is one long continuous race, basically, and the drivers are under pressure once again, straight away.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly, you guys got to be very quick on the change to get the cars up to spec if they're not quite there in race 1. But as you say, only a minute to do so, so they've got to be very, very fast on those moves. What we will quickly do before the guys get back around to the start line for this race, we will quickly give a quick shout out to the series sponsors helping Mark Lang and keep this series continuing on. So we got SIMMSA, and for those who aren't familiar, the simulator Motorsports Affinity Group, Macau-China SimRacing Association, and the SimRacing Association of Singapore. Very much a thank you to those sponsors for their continued support of this series and helping Mark get it on. And great to see the involvement from those guys. Obviously, we did see SIMMSA and Macau-China SimRacing last season with the GTs, but it's great to have them back on board again for the Formula 3. It looks like the pace car getting off into the lane here, and a great start from Kevin Huang down, taking the green flag there, and he gets a great jump over Tai Kim just behind him.
Yes, there's a very good start from the race leader, but now, we have a massive flip on the back as the cars are now trying to find some space into the first chicane. Gotta be super careful. They behaved very, very nicely in the first race start, behaving nicely here as well, as it seems like everything went well at the chicane, but we will investigate that flip as soon as we can. Now, of course, some fantastic action side by side as they head into the Variante della Roggia. Oh, look at the mess behind them as well, and now contact Matt Morris and another car into the wall. So certainly not what they were expecting there at the very beginning of the race. As you see the 79 of Taylor making its way through the traffic. You can see it and you can also hear it, because that very distinct, beautiful engine note from that car as cars are heading into the Ascari chicane. So I think it was Mark Lang, the driver involved with Matt Morris in that crash there, and Im Jo should be the other driver, the driver that flipped at the very beginning of the race.
Yeah, I was just going to point out we had Mark Lang involved in that. We've got the guys 3 wide down the back straight here and managing to get themselves sorted out. A great move too early on in the piece from Tai Kim, managing to get himself around Yasrin Yali and actually take the lead of the race, and he's extending his advantage out now to 1.1 seconds. So phenomenal job from him there. Wayne Taylor, as you say, currently finds himself up in 6th and starting to put a move on Muhammad as well. May not have the brakes in that 79 to get that job done, but Muhammad likewise down the inside finds himself now up into 4th place, putting a move on Karoistra.
Yeah, as you see. Oh, look at that. Oh man, I think that Taylor really looks like a man on a mission in this opening period of the second race, already up into 4th and slicing and dicing through the traffic, just like he's driving an LMP1 through the GT field. Massive speed differential there coming out of the first chicane, and he is now looking quite possibly at a shot at the podium. We'll see how he's, because he had a very, very nice start in race 1, as well as there is a car going around in the back. I think it was Spark, but in race 1 as well, Daniel, Taylor started very, very good and then faded away, even though he was, he was holding his own in P4 for the majority of the proceedings, and then that mistake at this very corner ruined what was effectively a very, very consistent effort for him. So let's see if he can, make it last the whole 25 minutes this time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the key advantage with the 79, especially around Monza, is the straight line speed potential out of that car. Very, very good. It does suffer a little bit through the tight and twisties, and we do see that through the chicanes where the guys in the Formula 3s do close up. But you look at him now down the front straight, going for a move here on Mark Winters, and should be able to get this one done down into turn 1. And that 79 certainly got the ponies underneath it.
Yeah, but you are absolutely right. Good braking there, as now look how fast he's coming out. I mean, the power, the way the way this car works, of course, with the ground effect, very, very planted when you you are pushing the gas pedal down. So coming out of that, if you compare, for example, the way the F3 work with these little tires, and basically you have to rely 100% on mechanical grip, or mostly on mechanical grip, whilst with the Auto 79, the ground effect, the car has got some very, very big downforce levels, even though it doesn't slow it down on the straight. So moment you press the gas pedal, the car gets smashed into the ground, and that's the great traction. Look at those big ass tires on the rear side of the car. So I mean, certainly a good advantage when you are coming out of a slow corner, like there are 3 chicanes here in Monza, 2 of them are very, very slow. So certainly looking good for Taylor, and now he's fancying his chances for a move for second place.
Yeah, definitely. It's from what I've seen with driving the car, certainly a car that really requires a lot of precise throttle input. You can steer it a lot on the loud pedal with the acceleration. As you're watching now down the inside of Yasrin Yali, may find what we've seen before. He will top out a little bit in top end, but he's able to get that move done, cuts across the nose of Yali, and finds himself now up into second position, gets the car turned nicely through the first set of chicanes there, and that advantage that he's going to have from those bigger tyres, getting him up and down the road, extending that gap. We're just watching it here, extend now to a second. So not only did he get that move, but he was able to put a good 1.2 seconds on, and now finds himself going after Tai Kim, so potentially could get that 79 up into the race lead very, very soon.
I mean, he's pushing super hard, he's having some fantastic lap times, slicing his way through the traffic, and certainly looking, like I said earlier, like a man on a mission. One more car, basically, between himself and the race lead. And look at the gap on the left side of your screen coming down at the same time. Muhammad Alif and Jaiserin Jali, they are also having a scrap. This will be for third place, with Jali holding the final podium spot for the time being. But here comes the beautiful Lotus-inspired livery of Muhammad Alif, and here we go. I know that the Longi is a very popular brand in Australia. Am I wrong? I know that they sponsor also, I think, the Rabbitohs NRL, right? If I'm not mistaken. But, you know, Italian brand with a glorious past. Not very popular here anymore, but I know it's going strong in Australia.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a popular brand starting to come up, especially for the guys who know it. So doing very well, but yeah, great to see it, especially on that Lotus livery that he is running. A Leaf doing a great job now up in third, but Yali trying to stick back in that toe, not quite able to make a move into turn one, but he will be setting himself up now for the next set of chicanes. So hopefully he can get a move on. And yeah, we're down 7 minutes in race at the moment. Taylor again, fastest car out on track in that 79 and continuing to close that gap. The position for the lead now only half a second, so we'll quickly jump back up and keep an eye on that. But Kim gets...
Oh, Muhammad in the wall. And Jali as well, having some issues. Maybe they had contact. Drama in the fight for third place then. Jali toes back to the pits. But let's focus on this for the time being, because I think we are about to have Daniel a move for first place. Taylor looks like he has Kim in his sights, and I think he will maybe try to pull a move either at the Parabolica, or maybe using his great exit speed side by side on the front stretch, and maybe coming out of the first chicane. Let's see.
Yeah, not quite able to get a move done down in through the Parabolica, but we will see the advantage of the 79 down the back front straight again. I would expect to see that gap continue to close up further, though, on the exit of turn 2 as the guys make their way into the Curva Grande again, though, next time, or this time by, actually.
Surprisingly, a bit far. Look at that. Look at the closing speed of that 79. Fantastic stuff. New leader, Wayne Taylor. I mean, he's racing with a purpose in this second race. In race 1, after the opening few laps, he was a bit tentative. He was a bit, dropping back, and then that mistake. But in this second race, he is... he started basically on the last row of the grid, and from there, in the span of only 6 laps, he is already, 5.5 laps, he is already back. Not back, he's already in the lead. So, that's one way to make your first impression in this championship at his debut. And I tell you what, I was a bit skeptical earlier in the season. I thought, well, maybe, it's a nice combo, but, the F3 is more popular, so it will be tough to have a 79, winning a race. Well, of course, there's still a lot of time to go, but we might be very, very close to the first Lotus 79 victory of the season. But this is not over by any stretch of the imagination, because Kim is very close, and also behind them, Winter and Ibrahim are still scrapping. Well, this is the new fight for P3, because the previous fight ended in tears at the Variante de la Roggia. And here comes the race 1 winner. And they go side by side. There's Taylor. Oh man, have I jinxed him?
Yeah, I was going to say, we did lose Taylor down in the second place, so we'll have to go back all in a minute and just check that move there. But Mohammed Ibrahim able to get his car up into third now, puts a move on Mark Winters, so that's a positional change there. Taylor coming back at Kim, though, the gap continuing to close up. But yeah, if we do get a chance, we will drop back and check that replay very, very soon. But up here, Mohammed... Here we go. Actually, Ty Kim got a little bit of traffic. I think that's Yasrin Yali coming out of the lane there, and Taylor just dropping in behind. So not quite sure what happened to Wayne Taylor there, but he fell quite a ways back, and still continuing to keep that gap and momentum up. He's down back to 1/10 of a second.
Maybe he got a little bit spooked by that car coming out of the pits. You know, because I cannot find any other explanation. He certainly didn't get any kind of slowdown because he was on the front stretch, so the way he lifted. So, well, we have once again another fight for the race lead then, with Kim inheriting the lead back and spending this lap in the lead. But how long will it last? Because, you know, Kim is very good through the front stretch, through the chicane, but basically, by my calculations, Taylor gets almost half a second coming out of the first chicane. Let's see. Look at the gap now, 0.5, 0.6, and look how quickly it will drop when they come out of that chicane.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll see Taylor go around the outside again, does that move, and able to make it stick. I believe there's also a change of position a little further back with Kamara and Karistera as well, 5th and 6th, changing positions as well. So there's a couple of really strong fights going on. Taylor going to have to be careful, though, with the slightly limited downforce of that car comparative to the F3 later on. We got Kumar up on screen here, putting a nice move on, who's that, Karistera, and those guys switching positions, as we say, down in 5th and 6th. So good to see them battling on. And Kumar, who we would have expected to take podium honours in race 1 with a third, certainly showing what he can do and coming back up through the field after that race 1 incident.
This fight continues then. Kumar and Karistera. Keep an eye also on the race 1 winner Ibrahim, if he's able to close the gap or not to Kim and Taylor for that matter, because Kim is very, very close to Taylor as they are heading towards the end of this lap. Only 0.4 of a second. So once again, fight for the lead is not over, and you know, Taylor gets the fastest lap of the race once again, but Ibrahim bests him marginally. But you know, he has the pace, I think, to come and get these two guys. There's not a lot of time left, 11 minutes, but still, if these two keep battling, and of course I think in the back of his mind, of Taylor's mind, there will be that mistake in race 1, so he doesn't want to have a repeat of that as they're heading in the final part of the race. So it won't be, I think, all easy for Taylor from now until the end of the race. Let's see if he's able to resist under the pressure of Kim and the pressure, of course, of a race win, which is always, you know, makes you very, very excited and prone to mistakes. And here it is, Muhammad Ibrahim pushing hard, trying to close the gap, looking at a double podium, race 1 win and race 2 third place so far, but he certainly wants more.
Yeah, definitely. Ibrahim been very, very strong throughout this entirety of the season. So great. Well, I mean, obviously currently sitting in third and looking for a strong podium result race 2. But yeah, he was doing everything he can do to get this championship under wraps. And with performances like what he's showing right now, certainly a great indicator of where he's got his mindset. Taylor still looking to increase his lead. And we're going to see that, I think, in the next few laps, especially with the drive that he's able to get out of that 79 through turns 1 and 2. I think he's going to be almost at the point where he's going to be able to break Kim, in second place. So keep an eye on that. The gap, 1.1 seconds as the guys make their way down the front straight. And we'll just watch on the exit of turn 2 here, just how far he's able to extend that lead as they come out of the chicane now.
Ibrahim 42.2. He's closing in on these two guys, I think. I don't know if he has the time to do so, but he's really pushing hard, and you can see, like Daniel was saying, the gap increasing exponentially as they go out of the first chicane, and the same will happen when they go out of the second chicane. But keep an eye on Ibrahim there, because he can see these two guys in front of him. He knows he's closing a lot on Kim, a bit less on Taylor, but still he's pushing out fast lap after fast lap, so certainly he is giving himself a chance. 3.2 seconds is the gap between Kim and Ibrahim. Here we go once again. on board with the number 33.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see too. This time by Ibrahim, last lap was 0.8 of a second quicker than what we're seeing from Kim. So we'll keep an eye just to see how much faster he is in the clear air. And I dare say, with the laps that he's putting down at the moment, should be able to keep a stronger lap pace. But the gap for these guys continuing to come down ever more, as we see it down here now under 2.9 seconds. And a lap ago, that was 3.4 seconds. So it's certainly the pace with Ibrahim right now.
Ibrahim using all of the track surface there as he comes out of the parabolic at 42.4, still faster, almost 1 second than Kim. 1.7 is the gap between first and second, as Ibrahim looked very deep on the brakes as he goes through the gears now, as he comes out of the first chicane and into the Curva Grande.
Yeah, I'm very impressed too with just watching the way Ibrahim is able to get the car so smoothly through late on the brakes. It's got a lot of point in the front end, but very, very strong rear end grip out of it. So he's absolutely making the most of that now. Kim a little bit slower, watching him through the last chicane and the way up through the Lesmos here. And I think we're going to see a pass for position in the next lap, if that. Ibrahim now closing under a second, so he's certainly got a lot more pace on board that car right now.
Absolutely, and that onboard was really, really good. Thank you, Scott, because like you said, it really showed the strong points of Ibrahim's driving style, car and setup today is so precise, even though it seems like he's always very deep on the brakes, very, braking very, very late. But look at that, fantastic stuff already, half a second between the pair. Might go for a move in the first chicane or already into the front stretch, into the Rettifilo, as they heading for lap number 12.
Yeah, he's going to have himself a very nice draft down the front straight, and this will be the mentality that we need to see with these drivers. Obviously, Formula cars brake very, very differently to what you'd see traditionally in a GT, so he's going to want to get up on the anchors very, very hard initially and fade the brake off towards the back end as they come into the corner, able to continue to do that. That gap down now to 0.3 of a second, 0.2. So he's certainly mastering the braking potential of that car right now.
As we're heading into the final 5 minutes of this race 2, this race meeting really flew by very, very quickly. Always exciting here in Monza. On the inside is Ibrahim riding on the curve. Will that be a slowdown? Because he really used a lot of that inside curb. Seems like he got away with it, and so aggressive move. Here goes second place there. Impossible to get first, but Ibrahim, I think, will be very happy with that, because that is a very, very good comeback, especially since I think he lost a lot of time in the opening laps, avoiding the mess around him. So certainly, Taylor maybe showed today, especially maybe when he got more confidence and after the first race, got some experience under his belt very quickly, I might add. But I think today, if there is a track where the 79 can be quick, it was today, because really I'm not kidding when I say that having had the experience commentating in the Le Mans series here on Apex in the past, the closing speed out of the chicanes of the 79 with the F3s looked like LMP1 versus GT. Daniel, it was I was shocked at first. I was not expecting that to be that big.
Yeah, definitely. It's the 79 very much a point and shoot kind of vehicle. Gets out of those corners very well, especially with those big tyres. But looks like we got another change of positions a little further down the field, 4th and 5th. Kamar and Winter going at it into turn 1. Kamar gets the move done around the outside. That's a bold move into turn 1 through the chicane there. Winter not quite able to get that switchback done. Does find himself down now in 5th position, but will set himself up for another run with the guys now for 3.5 minutes still to go in this race.
Yes, it seems like it is a good run for Winter. He actually briefly gets the position, but he will have the outside line, which rarely works around there, but good effort nonetheless as they head into Lesmo 1 and 2. Corners that were reprofiled, I think, in 1995. I think losing a lot of their, character, but still, that's what we have to work with. So heading down into other corner that was reprofiled, but a long time before the Lesmos, and this was this Ascari, which originally it was a long left-hander that went basically cut through what you see now of the chicane, with no runoff area on the right side, and you could imagine how dangerous that was.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly not somewhere you want to go very close to a wall there. And I think, with the way the track conditions are gone, the smart move to open those corners up and provide a little more runoff for the drivers, especially as the caliber of the cars have increased throughout the years. And I think as that downforce level's gone up and the corner speeds have increased, you really need to have the sense of security that if you do make a bit of a blunder, you're able to get those cars back up. And I think the guys relish having that little bit extra runoff as they can. Looks like everyone's got themselves a nice gap all the way around here. Just keeping an eye. We'll quickly duck through the podium positions at the moment. Wayne Taylor up front in the 79, doing a phenomenal job. Got himself a 4.3 second lead over Mohammed Ibrahim. Round 1 winner tonight. Finds himself in second position after he had the reverse grid start for himself. And Tai Kim, who was provisional race leader not that long ago, finds himself in third, a further 3.6 seconds behind Ibrahim's, and in total nearly 10 seconds from the race lead at the moment. But a great showing from from all three drivers, to be where they are tonight. And I think they should be very, very proud of themselves.
As the cloud cover is rolling in over Monza, it actually has been a very, very rainy last couple of days in northern Italy, which had the brunt of the bad weather of this past week. And I see that this, compared to other series, the guys of SRA are very, very on point, and the in-sim date is August the 3rd, so today, so perfect. But yeah, I think the final lap has already started for Wayne Taylor, and after a good showing in qualifying, a very solid race 1 up until that mistake, very quickly learning from his mistakes, learning how the drivers around him were behaving, and making the impossible possible, a 79 win in the series, as I don't want to jinx him on the final lap, because I've done that and more in the past. But certainly, if he takes it easy around this final half lap, he will be able to pop the champagne come the end of the race, using all the runoff area there, the curb, as he heads into the Serraglio. Ibrahim closing the gap, but not enough, of course, only a couple of tenths of a second in this last sector. Ascari one more time, and Taylor is really turning back the clock to the glory days of Mario Andretti, certainly. Always beloved here in Monza when driving for Lotus, and also other teams. But yes, Wayne Taylor taking the Parabolica and giving the Lotus 79 the first victory of the season here in Monza. Fantastic effort on his debut for Wayne Taylor. Very, very well-deserved victory. Mohammed Ibrahim, first in race 1, second in race 2. Tai Kim will finish in third for Eurasia SimSport, rounding up the podium. Then we'll have Kumar Winter will have to settle for 5th place. And behind him, we should have Rukoistra. Here he is, and then a massive gap to all the drivers that had some issues during the race. Muhammad Alif, with his Lotus-inspired livery, certainly was hoping for a better result in race 2. And he has almost half a minute gap over Park, who will sit in 8th, and Wang and Lang are the last 2 cars in the running. So, Daniel, certainly very nice to have a victory for the Lotus, and who knows, maybe this will, give other drivers the inspiration to jump ship for the next round, because this car is really, really fun to drive. I know from experience, even though I'm terrible with it, but it really is something else when you can get it right. The confidence that it gives you with that, ground effect that it has, and of course the engine note, etc. But all in all, hopefully this will get more drivers into the car in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's great to see Taylor get a win in the 79. Obviously, we did see it earlier on in the piece with Mark Lang, who we've got up on screen at the moment. But unfortunately, we did see Mark make the switch to the F3 earlier on in the season. But no, I think for what the 79 is, it is a bit of an underrated car comparative to the F3, and it is great to see that it does still get a run in the likes of the leagues that SRA are putting on. And for the guys that are able to spend the time, get their head around how to drive it, certainly a very rewarding car and enjoyable for what it is capable of doing.
On the YouTube race chat, you shall find the link for interviews, should you wish to do so. But before that, we can go through the race results for race 2. And here we go, as we see some beautiful donuts on the front stretch there. Wayne Taylor is your race winner in front of Muhammad Ibrahim. Tai Kim, Niranjan Kumar and Mark Winder round up your top 5. Rukoistra, Muhammad Alif 6th and 7th respectively. Min Park in P8. Kevin Wang and Mark Lang round up your top 10. And then the drivers who did not finish the event. Jaiser Jali in 11th. Kim Ju Min in 12th, Matt Morris and Im Jo-hook 13 and 14, and did not start the race, Joel Estordino and André Ambadar. So these are your results for this race. And of course, we also remind you what is coming up next in this championship, because next week we are going to be running in if I'm not mistaken, beautiful Road Atlanta. So you don't want to miss that. And also, while we wait for drivers to come for interviews, what's coming up next on Apex Racing TV? Well, of course, we are going to be back with you tomorrow morning at 10:45 GMT for the Aussie Mixed and Fixed GT Development Series, and that will be from Silverstone. You don't want to miss that. Then on Monday, we are going to be back with the MX-5s, and they will be from Zolder, the amateur series. Then World GT is on a break, so they will not be racing on the Eracing Esports Network. So Rick Motek from Mid-Ohio at midnight 15 GMT. On Tuesday, the BSR MX-5 Pro Series will be also from Zolder on the Eracing Esports Network, but earlier in the morning, 10:45 GMT, the IMSA official strength of field race from the Circuit de la Sarre in Le Mans, and then later the day at 6 GMT, the VRS-GT Sprint Series from Barber. On Wednesday, we are off. On Thursday, we will have BSRTC at 7:15 GMT, and then on Friday the iRacing Le Mans Series will be back, and then of course Saturday SRA at 13 GMT, Euro V8s at 18 GMT, and then back on Sunday for the Aussie Mixed and Fixed Series. So certainly a lot to look forward to. Sadly, looks like no one is coming for interviews, Daniel, which is very sad.
Yeah, definitely. I think, unfortunately, we don't have the drivers in there. But as you say, certainly a lot of racing to look forward to. I think next week, moving to Road Atlanta, certainly going to be something probably a little more favourable to the Formula 3 car as opposed to the Lotus 79. It'd be great to see whether we get the likes of Wayne Taylor back into the 79 again next round, or, that being said, we do get some new participants coming out. So we'll keep certainly a weather eye on that. A couple of things we must thank first and foremost, SIMSA, SIMulation MotorSports Affinity. Great to have them still on board with this championship. Macau-China SimRacing Association doing a phenomenal job, again, with helping Mark getting this series up and continuing to bring us the great broadcast that we're able to do tonight, and also the SimRacing Association of Singapore, the SRA SG group. So great to have them helping out as well. And I think for what Mark's done for all these seasons, been phenomenal effort with keeping this going. Certainly provided a lot of entertainment. I know the likes of Scott Newton, myself, both been avid participants within this series, and certainly enjoyed the participation that we've been able to do over the years. So great to be able to sort of put a little bit back from our perspective as well, and from what those three sponsors are doing. Great to see it continuing in all rights. Certainly looking forward to seeing what we can get next week, and then, as you say, with some of the upcoming broadcasts, there's definitely a lot of entertainment for the viewers to be able to get their fix on, and certainly something that'll wet the whistle for anyone, regardless of what series you sort of follow.
Awesome. So time to wrap up proceedings here. So we will wait for you tomorrow morning, 10:45 GMT, for the Aussie Mixed and Fixed Development GT series. But until then, from Scott Newton, Daniel Litt, Marco Barbanera, and everyone here at Apex Racing TV, as per usual, we wish you a good night and happy racing.